everyone, I'm here today to review The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain. I read this book back in January of this year, so I'm a little behind on my reviews. I gave this book 2.5 stars and I listened to it on Audiobook, as I believe I picked it up free off Audible. I would probably have rated this book 3 stars overall if I'd been reading it physically or if I'd been listening to a different audiobook version, but the version I'd got wasn't the best of quality. What do you expect for free, I suppose? And so as a result, it really took away from my reading experience a bit, and I just had to knock it down that 1/2 star because I just struggled to enjoy the story because I couldn't focus on it because the quality was so poor. As for the actual plot, I actually enjoyed quite a lot of it. I found myself even laughing out loud at some of the antics that Tom got himself involved in. And I definitely found myself thinking on more than one occasion that it was very much a case of boys will be boys kind of experience when reading this. Young boys, what you stereotypically expect them to sort of get into and get up to, especially back in like sort of easier times when it was easier for children to spend a lot more time outside. It definitely sort of made me just think boys will be boys. Obviously though, I myself am not a young boy, and as a result I feel this actually took a little bit away from my experience. I perhaps didn't enjoy the story quite as much as I would have done maybe if I'd been a young boy myself. And this is nobody's fault except mine for not being a boy and not reading it at a younger age. I did read this book at some point several years ago. This isn't the first time I've read it, but I couldn't really remember it at all because it was that many years ago that I read it. I was probably like 11 or 12 or something. And I probably felt the same back then, literally just because I wasn't a boy. However, even with the gender issues, I still managed to find one thing that really struck a chord with me. And that was, there was a scene where Tom is trying his best to skip school. He is trying to find any way possible to just get out of going to school that day. And that's something I can really identify with. And I'm sure it's something that a lot of people can identify with, because the extremes I used to go to try to get out of going to school were just mind-blowing. I'd be like in the bathroom like heating up some water and making myself feel like all warm to the touch and like making fake sick sounds, and even like trying to pour something into the toilet at a height to make it sound like I'm being sick while those sounds are going. Hope my mum doesn't watch this video. That was something that that was easily my favourite bit of the book, just because I identified to such a strong level. So overall, I'd just like to say that I don't think that age really stopped me sort of enjoying this book to the full, because I could throw in a lot of younger age sort of nostalgia in there almost through reading this book. I was like, oh yeah, I remember when I used to do that. Oh yeah, I remember when I used to do that. And so I really don't think you should let the fact that it's called a children's classic put you off from reading this if you've never read it. However, as I said, you will enjoy it as a girl. I myself was quite a tomboy when I was a child, so even then sort of like, I think to fully identify with it, boys will probably enjoy it more than girls, for the most part. And I highly recommend, if you haven't read this book, that you do, because, like I said, it's a classic. And it's one that I firmly believe that everyone should read at least once in their lives. I'd definitely say that this book is really accessible. You won't struggle with it at all, in my opinion. When you think of a classic, you think, oh no, that's going to be so difficult, but it's really not. It's actually a really easy book to get into and fly through, and I can't recommend it enough, though I wouldn't recommend getting the free version of Audible. Either get a version that you can pay for or read a physical copy, just don't pick up the free one. So thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more book reviews and other bookish content from me, and I will see you very soon. Bye bye!